Welcome back to Market Headlines. Former Finance Minister Khatib Basri delivered a statement that transformations can only be brought by millennials. This is due to millennials bring more innovations and seek to empower and transform.
Previously on social media, there was a lot of talk about the pros and cons regarding the emergence of millennial leaders in the state-owned enterprises. Khatib Basri assessed that millennial leaders suit well to run transformation rather than traditional style of leadership. As millennials progress into positions of leadership, they may be more willing than established generations to begin making changes. He assessed that previous generations or so-called established group has tendency to maintain their positions rather than to innovate. This may lead to bad implications to industry since they have tendency for not taking risk because they concern more on reputation. Meanwhile, according to the former minister, millennial leaders prefer to develop their careers through a combination of mentorships programs. Further, now that they are a larger part of workforce, it's inevitable they will be the ones who influence leaderships. From all sources for IDX Channel.
New global research by Deloitte uncovered some very interesting findings. As you'll see, nearly half of millennials worldwide are already in leadership positions. As most companies are discovering, supporting, and retaining, this talent requires a new way of doing business. Special staff of State-owned Enterprises Minister Arya Sinulinga say that currently there are 4 millennials who have filled the strategic positions in state-owned companies. So without further ado, let's begin the graphic with the current famous millennials in SOE. Here it is. Through the graphic, we can see millennials with the strategic positions in SOE recently. First of all, we got Fajar Wayong. Currently, he is 33 years old and as the Digital Business Director at Telkom Indonesia and a former founder of Bukalapak. And then the second one, we got Fadli Rahman, 33 years old as a commissioner at Pertama Hulu Energy in the mining sector. And then the third one is that Adrian Zakari, in the 32 years old, he becomes a commissioner at PTPN, the plantations company in Indonesia, and also Kaspar Situmorang as the EVP Digital Center of Excellence Bank BRI. And indeed, State-owned Enterprises Minister Erick Thohir gave opportunity for millennials to build, innovate, and create. While these younger professionals have many opportunities in front of them, state-owned enterprises are one of the options to put transformations on. One example, Erick Thohir chose Bukalapak's founder, the biggest Indonesian e-commerce, to be one of Telkom Indonesia's director. He has information technology education background and worked at the BCG, a well-known business consultant. His profile somehow fits into Telkom's DNA to remain relevant in the future in the digital business. So, to see what's the digital transformations he may bring to the Telkom, let's see it through the next graphic. Here it is. We can see Telkom Indonesia digital transformations under Fajar Wayong. First of all, he pledged to transforming the operational process by creating new applications to provide customer experience through the Telkom Indonesia's services. And this is linked into the customer experience by expanding more channels as they provide the ways on how customer can reach Telkom Indonesia's management to be more efficient. And the third one is that by transforming business model for more product diversifications with digital technologies, so they pledge to seek more business model. And the fourth one is that digital service based by more consumer oriented. He also mentioned the fact that Indonesia's digital economy is estimated to reach 133 billion US dollar or more than 1,500 trillion rupiah in 2025. One interesting thing is that the survey was conducted by Temasek on Indonesia's digital economy 3 times in the last 5 years. This means that Indonesia's digital economy is developing faster than previously thought. So digital transformations is a must. And how about Kaspar Situmorang's way to unlock SOE potency through online conference? He had opportunity to serve his ideas on developing state-owned bank BRI. So let's see it through the next graphic. Through the next graphic, we can see Kaspar Situmorang's way to transform the Bank BRI digital in ways. So Bank BRI has pledged to have three frameworks in here. First of all, we can see the exploitations by digitizing the core businesses, and also shut down irrelevant business model as if in a traditional way and not relevant enough to comprehend with the 4.0 digitalizations. And the second one is that in the terms of explorations, this is the second framework, as they pledge to enter integrated API performance, by example, making an application so-called BRI API, Bermola, and also Indonesia Mall. And the third one is that by inventing the business model by launching digital lending apps. For example, Pinang applications and also Cerita applications that they have been building on. And we gather data from the Ministry of SOEs. And the output of the all BRI digital services is for efficiency, where the conventional process of banking services, including credit, can be completed in a short time, certainly with a high data accuracy. As a banking to go digital is quite common, how about the mining sector? Oil and gas sector worldwide is embracing a digital to transform their operations and drive value. And therefore, state-owned enterprise in the mining sector, Pertamina Hulu Energy, is changing for greater good. So under its new commissioner, Fadli Rahman, what is the digital transformations of Pertamina Hulu Energy? So let's see through the next graphic. Here it is. We can see some changes to be made in terms of digital transformations under the commissioners of Fadli Rahman. So first of all, enhancing digital procurement predictive maintenance on old refineries. And the second one is that developing sensor technology for monitoring the refineries, and also not to mention about the applying the advanced tech on old refineries by 100%, because currently Pertamina Hulu Energy has the current progress in 55 refineries. However, he stressed that the oil and gas industry is not an easy place to go digital. Companies are project-focused and safety-conscious, and they value execution's excellence and predictability. And in the other hand, what are we aware is that the traditional leaderships and millennial leaderships has a very obvious difference when we talk about hierarchy. In this term, state-owned plantations holding company, PT Perkebunan Nusantara, also called PTPN, has its answer. Plantations companies are indeed hierarchies are very traditional. Technology is used but not very optimal, and they have a concept called Perkebunan Go Digital, as it is in accordance with the visions of the President Joko Widodo through food security. So let's see through the next graphic for the detail. Here it is. We can see PTPN digital transformations under the Adrian Zakari. First of all, it has three frameworks in here. First framework goes for the plantations holding strategy by planning, implementations, and the third one is a very essential is by auditing. And the second one is that marketing transformations that they will conduct as if market driven based on data. And the second one is that business intelligence to make the market very obvious on one thing. And the third one is that the digital marketing. And the fourth one is that still linkage to the number 3, which is online retail via e-commerce. And then the social media marketing. And then let's take a look at the third framework. It is the operation transformations by productions, harvest, and also not to mention about the post-productions. And according to the Deputy for Technology and Informations at the Ministry of SOE, Alex Denny, the placement of the millennial as a state-owned enterprises director was a part of an experiment to succeed the state enterprises. If it is succeed, they will replicate for further accelerations. He also explained that one key to success in the SOEs is by giving sufficient trust and support to make the breakthrough experiments, creativity, and innovations to these millennials, which of course the good mitigations and also risk control. And we hope that the appointment of these young people should also continue to be followed by professionalism and lack of conflicts. And stay tuned on Market Headlines because we will be right back after this quick break.